Hello. Oh man, it's good. So good to be back here. It's so good to be back. Congratulations to the Badgers women hockey team. I'm a big hockey fan. That was pretty exciting. And a lot of people are saying that's the team of the all time, one of the great college hockey teams of all time. So congratulations on today's big win. And thank you for having me back. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Welcome. I wrote that song. That was written during COVID, during lockdown. And whenever I sing those songs, it's really weird the way it brings you back. A lot of those songs, maybe without even intending to, had such a strange loneliness to them. But it's cool to play them in a room with people and not actually human people. Thank you for being actually human people tonight. Twerk for the people, Bob Weaver. You guys remember that? Twerk for the people, Bob Weaver. Bob Weaver, the inventor of the twerk, also the drummer for Fish. He's multi-talented. He also plays the vacuum cleaner with a bag. But the last little factoid before I move on. The last time Bob Weaver played the vacuum cleaner with the bag vac, which was like a half, what are those, bagpipe? It's like a bagpipe vacuum cleaner. This is a true story, at the rave in 1992. Right here in Milwaukee. Fish played the rave. Does it exist? Wow! Oh my God. You guys want to meet there after for a couple drinks, some darts, little bag vac? Suck on the bag vac? I'm off the rails already. Yeah, man, we played there. We rocked that place. We rocked the rave. We crushed it. I always like to ask this, and someone's gonna lie, but I want to see, was anybody there? Tell me the truth. It was really hot, you said. I know it was hot. We were hot. We're always hot, man. Come on. Who do you think you're talking to? Okay. All right. Here's a song we played at the rave in 1992. All right. Who is that? What'd you say? I'm trying to hear. I think I have selective hearing loss. I kind of always wanted to have that. It's like my dream in life. I'm trying to listen to you guys, but like I have hearing loss when I need it. Because some people are talking, it's like, huh? Guitar, can't hear you. But it's selective. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you. All right. This is a funny thing. I'm just veering off for half a second here. Half a second. So I've done now, I think this is I think I've done 7 solo acoustic tours. And as far as I know, and, I mean, this would have to be fact checked, but I'm pretty darn sure that I have never repeated a story. I tell these stories, but I've never, and this makes me a little sad tonight. So I may break that rule. You guys may have already heard this one, but no, I'm not gonna break it yet. I keep thinking about this one that I want to tell again, it's like one of my favorites. Ah, fuck it, you guys probably already know it anyway, but it's so damn funny to me. I'll just tell it real quick. So, let me veer into this one with another story very quickly. So when I come to Milwaukee, the first thing that pops into my mind always is that this is where the Violent Femmes are from. Okay? I'm sure you guys all knew that. You should be proud of that fact. So in '92, when the Violent Femmes were like really blowing up, you know, we went to Europe and we warmed up for the Violent Femmes as I stand here today, what was possibly my favorite, it was definitely arguably my favorite Europe tour ever. It was so much fun. We had so much fun together. We played all these punk clubs and stuff. We were playing in Germany, all these really cool German towns. There was like Nordheim and Nuremberg, Hamburg, Dusseldorf, and we played a lot of these shows with Violent Femmes and Lou Reed. And this is like a great honor because these are like rooms that we wouldn't play. You know, it was like this real cool, and everybody in, you know, both bands were super cool and nice to us. And we would go out, you know, have beers and stuff with the guys in Violent Femmes, and it was just a great time. So I always think about that when I come to Milwaukee and want to send them a message of love from me. And I remember this one thing. This isn't the story I was going to tell, but I'm veering into it. You know, I'm leaning into it. We were playing somewhere. Oh, last little detail. We also, the last date of that tour was Violent Femmes, Lou Reed, and Nirvana in 1992 at this festival that we played at. Nirvana headlined, and that was like just one of the coolest experiences, you know, at the peak of their power. The whole thing was so cool. But so, I remember walking on stage one night, and Lou Reed was, you know, sitting there playing his guitar, like sitting in the grass. And as I was walking on stage, he said, you know, in his Lou Reed voice, he was like, you know, show him how to rock and roll. He said, after all, we invented it. And like, right? I went on stage and we started playing, you know, we're playing, and I'm like, I wasn't really thinking about what we were playing. I was like thinking about it. I was like, do you mean like Americans or Velvet Underground? Because both are true. You can really argue for either one. I was like, you invented it or Americans? Anyway, so the story was that on this early Europe tours, we used to ride around in this, these buses were like double-decker buses, and they were really skanky. They smelled like urine, and they are like piss lockers. It was. And we used to have a really good time. We would stay up, you know, and listen to music and just party and like go from town to town, and you know. And so one night I'm sitting in the back lounge, and all our friends were there. There's like packed with people, and there's music playing, and there's this like little vent that, you know, the piss odor would go out of, and we would open it up, and it's like it's the middle of the night, and it's like a light rain. And I'm standing there, and Mike comes up to me, and he walks up, and he goes, Fish is doing something bad. like really weird mic, like mic delivery. And I'm like, oh, okay. And like 2 minutes later, from the vent, I see like this hand, and then John Fishman's head comes in, and he falls through the vent into the back lounge where we're all hanging out. And it turns out that he had crawled out the vent at the front of the bus and slithered over the wet, rainy roof of the moving bus going 70 miles an hour all the way down the bus to come in through the back vent. Anyway, but it wasn't, it wasn't as weird as Mike's delivery. That's why I like that. That's the part I like about this story. Fish is doing something bad. There we go. This song always reminds me of, I always think about the barn where we record all these albums. I think we've done, thank you. It's a beautiful thing up there. And I got this barn in I guess sometime in the mid-90s when my wife and I were living kind of through the woods from this spot. You guys have probably seen pictures of the barn online, but it's we've done, I think, like 13 albums or something there now. It's pretty wild, and it's a 200-year-old barn. I got played when I bought this thing by this farmer. I really did. I got Tom Sawyered by this. But what happened was, I used to walk my dog through the woods, and there's this like rock that I would sit on, this beautiful spot. I was like, oh my God, it'd be so cool to somehow exist here. And then I heard kind of through the grapevine, there was a guy right down the road, this farmer. He was an old farmer, and he was like a real farmer. They had the rough farmer hands and everything. And I was like this long-haired hippie dude that didn't know anything. And he told me that he would sell me. He's like, listen, I'm feeling really generous. I'll give you this barn. It's a 200-year-old barn, huge, right? For $1,000, okay? For the whole barn. And you could, I was like, my head was blowing. You could sell these barn, like, like $1,000 for this whole old, hand-hewn barn. And he's like, what do you think? And I said, okay. I went down and talked to this guy, and he shook my hand. He stuck out his hand with his big, like, farmer hand, and he shook my hand. And as he was shaking my hand, he was looking at me. He was like smirking at me. And he goes, now when you take your barn, I want the field to look exactly like there's never a barn there. And then I found out later that, because it's a small neighborhood, that his wife had been trying to tell him to get rid of this barn for like 20 years so that they didn't use it anymore. It's like a 200-year-old barn, and like went underground. And then, she wanted to have the view. They had 3 barns, and he had been killing himself trying to get rid of this barn. He had, it was like on his to-do list, go out and take this huge barn down. So finally, along comes this dumb hippie guy, pays him $1,000, and then I had to like get rid of the thing, which I don't know if you've ever moved a barn before, but anyway, I'm glad I did. We recorded a lot of songs there, but thanks everybody. I don't know what I'm talking about.